How many of you people have your content organized here? This is what I want to know. Let's talk about that. Is your content organized? Some of you over there, you're sitting there like you got a vibe here. Let me feel. What's your name, dude?
Charlie.
Charlie. What, you're into film?
I'm a teacher, so I dabbled in a lot of stuff.
Oh, you're a teacher too. Oh God, I'm sitting there pointing and yelling at a teacher. All right, this is good. This is one of my big thrills, guys. Okay, no, but are you an artist yourself, or?
Yeah, I try. Yeah, it's like a balance thing. So when you're teaching full time, it's hard to do your own stuff. I'm getting better at that.
Okay, you see that line you just said? To me, that is one of the biggest excuses I've ever heard. You know what? I got some friends with 6 kids. You should see what these people do. You won't even believe it. What do you do as an artist?
I do some video, comics, stuff like that.
Draw?
Yeah.
Okay. So what, you just got a bunch of sketch pads and stuff, and one's in one drawer, some's in the closet in a box, and it's all moved around, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not organized on a page somewhere.
No, not unified anywhere now.
Unification, people, listen to that word. What an amazing word. Unifying yourself and your own work. Do you have any idea what that shit means? You're not even going to believe it. Hi, how are you? What do you do? Nice to meet you. Talk to me about your art. What is it you do?
I do installation.
Installation? What kind of installation? I'm sorry?
Sculpture.
Sculpture? In your mind right now, what is your plan when you leave this school to organize your content?
It's not really organized right now.
Okay, it's not really organized. This is a very important question. I bet most of you guys are actually going to tell me the same thing. Right? Is there one person in this room who can raise their hand and actually tell me that they've organized their shit, please? Okay, now I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you've done and what your idea of organization is.
I think it began about 6 years ago, where I used to believe I was waiting for the talent fairy to come.
Okay, the talent fairy, yeah.
What's in your life doing cleaning toilets for minimum wage? You know, you should be off doing something. And then I realized that talent fairy wasn't coming, so I just went like this and went, shh, you're talented. And I've been in a very productive phase since. I just wrote a screenplay over the last 6 weeks, which my creative writing teacher is like, see about having it made into a play, because she really thinks it's really good.
Very, very good. People feel your vibe, they feel you're solid. You're not afraid of yourself and going out, and you gotta push it. I
want to be a teacher.
Okay.
So I'm here, and then I want to go to grad school, and then I want to come back here and teach.
Okay. Okay, so that's a very particular goal, right? Mm-hmm. That's good. So you got any other weird things floating, like from side to side, that can destabilize you from staying in that direction?
I also want to be an editorial designer, so I want to work for like Vice magazine and zines and stuff like that, just doing my own shit. But I'd rather be a teacher, so I choose.
Okay. I saw you raise your hand back there.
I'm a graphic designer.
Okay.
What do I say? Is this a story or something?
Well, no. You said. My question was, how many of you got your personal content organized with your life dream goal in order? So what are you doing?
Okay, I'm a graphic designer. I started working in my industry after my first year.
Okay.
In the summer. So every summer since then, I've been working in my industry. And then this summer I started my own business. So I got my shit together.
Okay, so you finally started your own business. You got a website?
Yeah. I'm making it right now. So I haven't learned web stuff. So I'm learning stuff as I go. So this summer it's like. Make websites.
So you specialize in what? In Photoshop and just graphics, Illustrator?
So I'm learning motion stuff because I want to get into film eventually.
Oh, motion stuff. Okay, well that's good. That's very good. Okay, this is good. And you're making a website, right? Because you're going to launch. Because manifestation is all about putting your stuff in an organized format so that not only other people understand it, but guess what? You understand yourself. I call a camera video therapy, people. You know what's great about a camera? Is you can take somebody and you can just change them. So, because most people are hard on themselves. But when you have somebody you can trust that comes from the outside and looks at you and says, you know what? Why don't you go more for this angle? Let's pick this thing. And all of a sudden your best part comes out that you didn't think you have because you didn't want to take the time to look for it. Why is that? The trick here is, people, that you can't be afraid of success. Success actually scares people on a psychological level. They call that fear of success. A lot of people get it. They don't quite know what it really means. They label it as something else, like they're not good enough, or I'm not sure, lack of confidence. Maybe your parents told you were going to be a fucking shithead and you're going to amount to nothing. You know what I mean? There's tons of reasons, psychologically and other, of why people can be the way they are when it comes to this. But we are in an industry, okay, which is a losing, dying art. Not only have they taken away all the art programs in the schools and stuff, right? But now all those little kids and stuff that were supposed to be learning the beautiful discipline of music and painting and art and sculpture, it's not going to exist anymore. That whole LOL thing, the shrinking down of the human language and the integration of what we are to become, we really need to hybrid. Hybrid is another word that you guys need to get buried in your head. Hybrid. This shit works. Wait, let me write. Let's try this, just like in school. Hybrid, right? I love that. Why? Hybrid permits you to be more than one thing. You're able to do that, but there got to be things that match. Like 3 colors that shouldn't have been put together. People say, wow, what a great color mix. You know? That's what we're talking about. And your wildest ideas can come true. Always shrink it back down to something small. Like I like to say, you got to keep your things at a manageable level. You know what I mean? When you think too big, right in the beginning, then it's just too big. If it's out of your personal capability, I like to say, shrink things down to scale. You want to build a giant building? No problem. Why don't you build one in model size right now? Design that. Become anything you want to become. Not next year, not tomorrow. Don't wait till you graduate, for crying out loud. Do it now. Do you know what now is? Experience. And you know what experience is? We were talking about that outside. Experience is something you get after something doesn't work out for you. Wow, what a concept. Amazing. You got to make a mistake, call yourself a dumbass in order to get something called experience, and that's what you get. So, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes now, is there? We got to appreciate our mistakes. We got to learn from our mistakes and be happy we made those mistakes, and not make those mistakes when you're at a higher level, finally with your own business and everything, running your people and doing what it is you got to do. You know, aesthetic is also really important. I really believe in every level of aesthetic in your art. How you present yourself, how you go out, how you dress, what kind of perfume you wear, everything. It all matters. You walk out there to show your stuff, build your art, even if you're by yourself. I used to change 5 times a day and I never went out. Why? Because it makes me feel good. I don't try and prove anything to anybody else. It makes me feel good. So if it makes me feel good and it gives me an extra idea, damn! Now you have the choice. You can look at that like some fake Milli Vanilli stuff, or you could look at it as speeding up the process of humanity. Who's humanity? Your humanity. We are still in a world where we are dealing with people. There are people out there who shall decide what your fate and your future is. Whether you get the crack or whether you don't get that crack. What sets you apart? How do you stand out in a crowd? How do you get out there? This technology, this media, this reinventing of yourself, right? Instead of handing a piece of paper that's got your little CV on it, you know what I mean? Why don't we do something a little more interesting? You know, it's funny, when I used to be in high school, I never used to go to class. But the teachers still thought I was smart, and they let me get away with murder. And when everybody brought in their little paper with their little manila thing that they were trying to figure out, I would walk in with a full working model that had electronics, and the thing would light up and do all kinds of shit. And I would always get a standing ovation in the class. Wouldn't make me any special than anybody else. The only difference was I took the time to use my resources and get a little creative. You guys are all in this school because you guys are creatively enhanced. You guys are either special or think you're special or want to be special. And you probably all are. And you all can be at the top of your game. But the only way you're going to do that, God bless you again, is if you really take control of what it is you want, reinvent yourself, not every year, every 2 months. Okay? I'm serious. You go through your closet and you try on every bottom with every top. And you say, which is the A and which is the B? This top and that bottom, kill. This top and that bottom is more transparent. Mix and match, do all that shit, and then put them on hangers so that they're already ready to grab and wear. You can change 10 times, look killer in 10 minutes. Right? But that line of thought applies to your content. All your ideas and shit like that, they really need to be closer than in separate rooms and in a box in here. When you guys do that, I don't think you're being serious. You're waiting. You're waiting for what? For somebody to offer you a job, give you a diploma, the, what'd you call it, the rock and roll fairy?
The talent fairy.
The talent fairy to come show up? Guys, the world is harder than it ever was. The world right now is like a shark-infested pool. And you guys can perceive, cut through, and get exactly what you want. But you got to think about it. And when you think about it, you got to be so sure about what you've thought about that when you go into it, there's no fear. Why? Because there's always going to be somebody that wants to cut your idea down. Somebody who wants to stick an extra little piece of gum on that mix. You know, somebody who wants to tell you why it should have been done this way instead of that way. And you could or not take it offended or not. And then again, that slows you down. Why? Because you're burning energy in the wrong place. What you need to do is practice how not to keep more than 2 things in your head maximum at once. I used to be a person with 100 things in my head all the time. Bam, what a traffic jam. And guess what? I couldn't control it. But it makes you a little bit edgy. The day I learned how to only stick 2 things in my head at once, and mostly one, I became a whole other person. Like, for instance, right now as I'm talking to you, I was all paranoid. What the hell am I going to say to these guys? I have this whole thing written here. I've hardly looked at it. Normally, I would be looking at you, and as I'm talking, I'd have another voice ripping a bunch of stuff in the back of my head, pre-preparing me for what I'm going to say to you guys. But I'm actually totally empty. Empty. And words are just flowing because I'm letting your energy come to me. It's like art, right? You see an image. What's coming? Is it the way the light is hitting it? Is it like, you know, there's always something. The energy, the feeling, the essence of this entire thing will take you guys to the top of where you want to be. Okay, ask me some questions. Too much stuff in your head.
Yeah, too much stuff in my head. I've got too much stuff in my head. And whenever I'm really focused working on something, I always get distracted by something else that I want to work on. I did the first one, go to the second one. I come back to it later, but I never finish anything because I've always got something new that I want to work on that's distracting me.
Standard MO, okay, that's a standard.
Getting away from that.
Because, okay, number one, what's going to happen if you don't do that other thing? Are you losing money? Are you going to die? Nothing's going to happen, right? That's just an idea that's taken over the other idea, right? Okay, so that's like a bad traffic jam. What's the point? Doesn't work. But if it's a great idea, I have a book. I mark it down in the book. I shut the book. If I ever want it, it's there. I shut it out of my mind. It's gone. Gone. Otherwise, you can't finish your stuff. How are you going to finish it? You can't. If you sculpt, I say by next weekend you would have 2 major sculptures made. And you know what? If it takes a long time, practice speed sculpting. You know what I mean? Because somewhere down the line, it's going to teach you something. I'm not saying become a speed sculptor. But what I am saying is just the shock of making that change. This is where something different is going to happen to you. Action, reaction. Look, there's one guarantee in life. One. For sure we're going to die. Okay? But the other guarantee is action. You know why? Because it is 100%, 1,000 guaranteed that there's a reaction. And that's one of the only things that you know will work every time. Action, reaction. How simple is that? Action equals reaction equals result. Holy smoke, people. But that's too easy, right? They're just words. Am I just a guy that happens to be hyped up in a word using words you've heard before and I'm juggling them around and I'm piling this like big fantasy on you, or is this the real deal? This is the real deal. This is the real deal. And you know what happens when you do that? You get abundance of energy. An abundance of energy. The energy flows through you because you feel so real about yourself, not full of yourself, real about what you're saying, because it's only about giving to other people. You know, you were going to say?
I was the same idea about, you know, how do you clear it through your head? Because you asked before about having ideas. Well, I think the problem is not a lack of them, it's a thorough of them. But, you know, how do you make decisions? I get caught up in decision making.
I got the answer. Here you go. You're going to love this one. Most people go like this. Yes lives here. No lives here. Then there's something in the middle called maybe. Guess what I've done with that maybe? I killed it, right? Maybe doesn't exist for me, right? You know when maybe exists? If it's a life and death situation and you really have to make a serious thing. Otherwise, maybe doesn't exist. You know what that does when maybe doesn't exist? You've just saved half your life. Guess what, people? Most people in this room and in this world will spend a major part of their life procrastinating on doing what they should be doing. If it's the right thing, should they do it or should they not do it? Holy smoke, people. You got to be at a level where you believe so much. When you do that, you're not going to even believe this stuff happens. But it does. It actually does. And if it wasn't for my beautiful girlfriend, Karila, who actually years ago made me understand something about spirituality in a non-kind of Bible-thumping way, that made me open-ended. I call God dude. I do all kinds of different things. I believe in all gods. I believe in all people who believe in themselves. Okay? And that is what it's about. Because when you believe, people, everybody else believes with you. And if you've done your research and you don't fill your head with too many ideas, then when you do tell somebody what you're about, the focus is so pinpointed that they totally understand you and get you. And when somebody gets you like that, what more of a reward can you get than that? It's the ultimate reward. They finally understand you, and now you're ready to go to the next level. To become your own niche. To be purchased. To be bought. To be licensed. It's all there. And then and only then will you be able to do that. Any other questions? You over there. How are you? Nice to meet you, man.
I'm actually not in this class. I'm a note taker.
Oh, you're a note taker? Are you shitting me?
No. But I do go to the school.
Okay. So what, Ken? Anybody could just like walk into this class and start taking notes? Is this what's happening?
No, it's a special arrangement.
I understand. Is there anything you want to throw into this mix, dude? What do you think about what we're talking about here, about people advancing themselves artistically with their dreams and their goal and how to take their art and push it to the next level?
I totally agree with your philosophy. It's a good concept. It's something that I'll
incorporate.
think about. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because remember, we can never learn anything by ourselves, okay? We are truly a combination of a bunch of other people's ideas. And we share ourselves, you know, and somebody else has learned something for us that we've taken the information from and reinvented it ourselves so we become our own. What's really original? Everything's kind of been done. Everything is a rehash. 360, the wheel comes around and it comes back around. The only thing that's different is technology has improved, materials are different, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to say that it's an absolute honor, right? I'm almost getting that feeling. I gotta control myself. Hang on. Last time I started crying in this class, I actually broke down and I cried.
It's about time management. Then you decide what your priorities are. Decide what piece of information has really stimulated you so that you could fucking do something that you wanted to, you know? Because people didn't let me do what I wanted to do. I'm doing that for the first time in my life. I'm the happiest guy in the world, which is why I'm breaking down in front of you. You know what I mean? I'm totally breaking down because I'm so fucking happy that I'm fucking speechless, you know? And I don't know what this means to you guys, but to me, it means a lot because this is like one of the biggest dreams in my life that I'm doing. Everything I've ever wanted is because people like you send me the fucking energy to believe in. If I could thank God for that.
I really want to thank you guys because it's an honor and it is a true dream of mine really to help and give people what I consider to be advice that I have really put myself through the grinder in order to figure out. Please, I beg you, I'm on my knees. You know what I mean? Go out and do something this weekend that you wish you've always done and haven't done. Just get it out of the way. I don't care if it's organizing what it is you're going to do. I don't care if it's getting rid of these schmucks in your life that are dragging you down. Because remember, there is not one single way to do anything. It's a combination of at least 100 things combined for any single situation. Dynamic approach, are you standing close enough, are you too far, did you speak too fast, did you say the right thing? There are so many dynamics that makes a situation work or not work. I want to really, really, really thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity, guys.